This is a quick overview of the development board, the Wiz5100s-EVB-PICO from Wiznet. Just run a quick sketch and I wanted to go over it. The unit is currently plugged in with a regular Ethernet cable, and I've got it plugged. I'm plugging it directly into the port on my computer. At the moment it's only powered, and I have the unit right here. So here's the unit. This is a regular RJ45 that I plug into my computer, and this is the power. So I'm going to put the unit into boot mode, to press power here, and disconnect, and you connect, and then as you can see there's a pop-up. Just leave that in boot mode here while we go over onto Visual Studio Code. Right, so at the bottom of this you will see a GitHub command. You need to clone these repositories onto your local machine. They suggest that you create a path, then you clone it. We normally have to put the SDK in the same directory, and you can follow those instructions from the Raspberry Pi organization. Looking at the example that I've been working on, which is the server example, which is under examples HTTP server, and this is the Wiznet server example. They first init all for serial output. I've added a generic printf statement so that I can see that the unit is serializing, and on every command I'm writing a printf statement until it's running. If there is no Ethernet connection, the unit will hang on this command, Wizchip initialized. And I will demonstrate that now. Going into developer command prompt, I can navigate to the actual directory, which is now in the build examples HTTP server. If I hadn't already run CMake, I would have had to go into the build directory, and I can actually do that right now. cd. I'm in build and I run CMake -g in make files, and then 2 dots, which is to go back a directory to find the SDK, which is in the root RP2040 -c directory. Right, so that runs the CMake command and copies everything over onto the respective directories. So then, in the interest of time, I will now run the nmake on the actual directory. So now we need to go into the directory. So that would be examples, HTTP server. That's adequate, and then I can run nmake, and that will compile the code. So it takes a little bit of time to compile the first time after running CMake, but otherwise it's pretty fast. Going into that actual directory, the build directory, there you can see it's the build directory. This is where all the files were copied across from the CMake process. We have the UF2 file. Copying that, you can see now there on the bottom there is a RP RPI minus RP2 directory, and I'm going to copy the file and paste it onto this. I could drag it for semantics, but I'm just going to copy it over. So there we are. Now I have a terminal server up, and as you can see, it's printed out the first printf, then it's stuck on the reset. That reset command was the last command before initialization, so it's actually stuck on initialization. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the Ethernet cable into the computer, and that will initialize. There we are. So now we are connected. If I go over to a browser and I hit refresh on this IP address, as you can see that IP address matches this IP address, which is the one that I initialized as a static. We get the message, hello from RP2040. I hope that this has been useful. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to move on to trying to overcome the RP2040 freezing during initialization.